I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
I've noticed something that's really been pissing me off the past week or so.
Well, you don't usually hold back on those sort of subjects, so...
yes. I don't know if it's specific to our area or as a result of too much lockdown, but people can't bloody drive.
That is particularly bad in our area, I think.
So much so. Saturday, for instance, I had to go out of the morning, and the first set of traffic lights that I arrived at, bear in mind they're not that far from my house, probably a 30-second drive.
Not far,
not far at all. And the car in front of me stopped at the red light, and then went, "Nah, bollocks to it, I'm going."
What, went to all the trouble of stopping?
Yeah, stopped at the red light.
And then ran the red light?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. And it wasn't erratic driving either. It wasn't like stopped, impatient, speedy getaway. It was just drove off gently.
Just a clean, sensible getaway, but through a red light.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, that's peculiar.
Do you know what's even weirder than that? I got to Newport and someone did exactly the same thing.
That's bizarre.
That was 10 minutes later.
So has there been some government announcement that we missed that it's now okay?
Oh, yeah, if you fancy it, just plough on.
If there's nobody there, don't worry about it. Just go for it.
I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there just mildly in disbelief, quite a lot of swearing as well.
Twice in the same journey.
Yeah, 10 minutes apart.
Pull up, stop, and then proceed to drive through the red light. That's bizarre.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't.
That's weird. Yeah, that's really strange. It wasn't the same person, was it? You didn't meet up with them again?
No, different person. One was a Hyundai i10 or i20, a small thing from Korea.
One of the little Korean things, yeah.
Yeah, and the other one was a Renault Clio.
Oh, strange behaviour.
Very odd behaviour.
Strange behaviour. The lack of indicating that gets me, particularly at roundabouts and junctions where you cannot tell what they are going to do, hence the need for indication. So you have to stop, and then they turn the other way, and you could have got away without stopping. So they have needlessly delayed you because they couldn't be bothered to indicate.
Oh, yeah.
And in so many cases now, the only indication you get of the direction they're going to go is by the way the wheels are turned. You need more than that.
Oh, dear. I mean, even that's not conclusive for some of the idiots around here.
No, it isn't. Absolutely not. You can see them there and you think, well, you're in the left-hand lane, you're indicating left, but I'm not pulling alongside you because that is no guarantee.
No.
That you are going to go left.
No, they're not safe to be around.
They're really not. Roundabouts and lane discipline on roundabouts. Don't get me started.
Oh, dear. No, they can't
it's
work
all
those.
Over the place.
If only they'd painted arrows on the road.
Oh, yeah. What a good idea that would have been. If only someone had thought of that.
Oh, we've got that really entertaining roundabout down at Halford, haven't we? Where
the one that nobody knows how to use.
Yes, because if you're leaving town, no one seems to grasp the fact that left lane you can actually go slightly round the roundabout to the right, can't you?
Yes, you can. That's what it's for. Yes, so you can sort of bypass the roundabout, but because there's no physical separation like there is on some larger roundabouts where you actually get a central reservation that divides that sort of bypassing lane off. It's not big enough to have that.
No, so you have to take your life in your own hands if you want to use the roundabout properly.
Well, you can't use it properly because nobody else does. So you're forced into doing it wrong because that's the only way to get across it without being sideswiped.
Yeah, they can't grasp it.
No. They can't. It's weird. There are certain roundabouts that people just cannot use as a roundabout. Some of them are in stupid positions, I grant you, like the one at the end of the old bridge here in Bideford.
That's a bit pointless.
Which you and I have navigated a lot because it used to be on our route home.
Well, that's it. People can't do it. They just sort of get there and stare at each other.
Yeah, they might as well just clean the roundabout off and just put up a sign saying, "Yeah, just go for it. Be lucky," because
be lucky.
Everyone just drives at it,
or doesn't. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, or just everyone just sits there looking at each other.
Yeah, you get 4 cars in the middle or none.
Yes, it's true. Either nobody goes or everybody goes at once.
Oh, I tell you what, having lived in Swindon for a while.
Not the magic roundabout.
Oh, the magic roundabout.
I've only been round it once. I needed treatment afterwards.
Oh dear, there's sort of a mildly unwritten rule for Swindon where the traffic is quite fast flowing. I wouldn't say aggressive, but there's zero tolerance for dawdling.
Oh, you can't afford to dawdle.
But there's an unwritten
rule.
You
lose on that.
Yeah, there's an unwritten rule for the magic roundabout, though. You don't beep your horn when you're there because no one knows what the fuck is going on.
Oh, not a chance. For people who are not familiar with that, it's, and correct me if I'm wrong from memory, it's one roundabout in the centre with a number of smaller roundabouts all the way around it in another circle.
That's it. It's basically 5 mini roundabouts making up one big roundabout.
Yeah.
It's it's a bit daft. My uncle lives there, and he's got this really good story where one of his friends was coming to visit, and the husband and wife were in the car, and the wife was driving, and this was pre-sat nav, so he was guiding them in over the phone. They were calling out where they were, and he had no choice but to direct them through the magic roundabout. And this poor woman arrived at it, and she exclaimed down the phone, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, I fear that is the only response to it. It makes people swear who would not normally swear.
No, I've met this woman. She's very polite. Yes. She's very calm, collected.
But faced with that...
Yeah, not good.
It all came out. Yeah, that is the correct response, I'm afraid. Even the most polite people in the world, expletives will fly when faced with that.
Yeah, no, that was not a good bit of town planning. That.
It's like every road in the city has converged in this point, and they just didn't know what to do with it.
This will be a good idea.
Yeah. Oh no! Look, we've ended up with them all here. What are we going to do with that?
Oh, not good. Not good at all.
No,
I've
never seen anything like that anywhere else in the world.
No, that's not good. I'll tell you what. There's a bit in Colchester that comes close, down by the sort of retail park, and it's just sort of edge of town, bit of Tesco's and all sorts down there. But they've had a go. They've almost got a magic roundabout. I think they've got 4 mini roundabouts, and the only real drawback with it is compared to the magic roundabout in Swindon, which is quite a vast open expanse. The one in Colchester, one in Colchester is quite tight.
Oh dear, that doesn't help.
No, you throw a few buses into the mix and you think, oh dear.
Oh, it's not going to go well.
Oh, I should have gone to Sainsbury's instead.
Yes. I didn't want this.
Not so good.
That was my life brought me to here.
Right. Well, while we're on this topic of people behind the wheel who perhaps shouldn't be, should we move on to motorways?
Behind the wheel who shouldn't be there.
Oh no! Let's move on to motorways.
Okay. Are we going to get onto centre lane hoggers here?
I think we should just briefly, just to make sure that we're both on the same page of prison.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Prison and the car burned.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just indicate to the left and move over when it's safe. Yeah.
Yes. If you are
Lovely.
done overtaking, pull back in.
Yeah, do piss off.
Like
Yes.
you would on, say, a normal road.
Oh,
It is not there for you to just sit there all the
no,
way.
no.
Yes, it's incredibly annoying, and you see it all the time.
And it's I don't get it. It's not complicated, and
No.
you think on driving on the continent, you don't really have that. I've never had that on French autoroutes, German autobahns. Never.
No, you don't
There's-
see it in America either. Mind you, the rules are a bit different over there, but
they're willy-nilly for lanes there, aren't they?
yeah, they just pick one. But
Mm.
yeah, it's a British thing, I think. It's a British disease.
Not
You
good.
just sit in the centre lane and don't worry about what's going on anywhere else. You do occasionally see somebody doing it in the outside lane, but they don't get away with it for very long.
No, but you find if you do need to use the outside lane, you do when you do come across someone who's having a dawdle and's forgotten what mirrors are.
Yes.
They just can't grasp it. And you think the amount of times I've seen someone in the outside lane with something like an unmarked police car trying to get past to go and do something important.
Yeah.
And just oblivious.
Oh, completely. Yeah, they'll just sit there. Yeah. They never look behind them.
No. Why would you do that?
Yes.
Oh dear.
I know that's a serious lane discipline on the motorway is a serious problem. The problem as well that you get with the centre lane hoggers, if you are on the inside lane, as you should be, doing a sensible speed, but they're in the centre lane going too slowly, and you come up behind them, you get stuck in this position where actually, if you continue at the speed you are already at, you'll end up undertaking them, which of course is illegal.
Yeah, that's not allowed. So you have to do the mighty maneuver.
Yeah, all the way across the outside lane in one go.
And it's always worth trying to get their attention. Just going, yeah, just watch what I'm doing. See if you can pull back in when you're all done. Yeah,
and sometimes you'll go to the effort of doing that maneuver and then look in your mirror, and they then get the hint and pull back in after you've gone round them.
Oh no, that is a rare event.
Oh, it's rare. I have seen it, but it's rare. Yeah, it is rare that.
Oh, you say
it's not good.
You say about lane discipline. I do recall a motorway journey where I was thank Christ it was a quiet day. Yeah, it was a Sunday on the M5, just happily poodling back towards home, and like I said, quiet. So I was in the left lane, just doing my thing, and just I saw this BMW arriving in the mirror, and thinking, something's gone awry here. Something's definitely not right. As there was quite a lot of speed in the outside lane, then just gradually sort of making it to the middle lane, and then thinking, he's coming into my lane, but I'm here.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
He wants to be where you are.
Yeah. So I thought, oh dear, because I thought, right, there was nothing around me as other than him aiming for me. So I stood on the brakes, and he missed me by millimeters.
And did he just not see you? Or?
Oh no! What transpired is because he then entered my lane just in front of me, then entered the hard shoulder, then went right up the embankment. He was fast asleep.
Oh.
But going up the banking woke him up a treat.
Did that? Yeah, I imagine that would have acted nicely as a little alarm clock there.
Yeah, that
you have left the road.
Yeah, so he woke up rather quickly and then pointed it back at the motorway without any thought of looking over his shoulder.
Oh my God.
By which point I'd virtually stopped because there was no other traffic around. I thought,
right,
I am not getting involved in this dickhead.
No.
And he re-entered the carriageway with a mighty fishtail and somehow caught it and carried on his way.
Quite a lot of foliage as well flying through the air, I should imagine.
Yes. It was. I mean, he was lucky that there wasn't. It
What
wasn't a
an
bit of the
idiot.
motorway that there wasn't a barrier that side.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Or some debris on the hard shoulder or up the bank or something. Yeah. Oh dear.
Hit.
Absolutely. It would have to be a BMW, wouldn't it?
Oh dear. It's like what? Mind you, it was a quite a modern BMW. You think I'm not sure how you can sleep in one of those. Your spine's constantly being crushed. So
Oh, absolutely.
keep you wide awake.
Might as well be sitting on a spike in there. Yes.
But
Dear,
yes.
dear. That's particularly bad.
Yes, that's
not just a lack of lane discipline.
No, that's a good advert for maybe take a break.
Yeah, have a coffee. Dear, oh dear. That's bad. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen some weaving, but nothing. I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually leave the motorway.
Yeah, that sharpened him right up, I bet.
Yeah, I imagine so. He'd be as wide awake and quite clenched, I should imagine, at that point.
Oh yeah, if he'd have got out the car, he would have taken the seat with him.
Once he'd prized his hands off the steering wheel, yes.
Jesus.
It'd be like that scene in Planes, Trains and Automobiles where he bends the top of the wheel over.
Yeah, exactly that, I think. The motorway's the worst for it, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know if it's because people get, they go on too long and, just get tired and do stupid things. I really don't know what it is. But, yeah, you do see some very strange things. And, of course, you get the classic two lorries or one lorry overtaking another lorry. But by an electronic limiter, he can't go any faster than the other one. So they end up just sitting alongside each other for miles and miles and miles.
You think, yeah, we've not got enough lanes here to work with, chaps.
You've got the unstoppable force and the immovable object. One of you cannot go faster by law than the other one. What are you going to achieve? If the one in the inside lane is already going flat out, you cannot go any faster than him. There's a thing on your engine that will stop it. Doesn't matter how hard you push the pedal. You can't go any quicker than him.
Yes, that is infuriating.
I don't understand it, especially on it. Well, I mean, you do occasionally get that on a dual carriageway. That should be life imprisonment for that.
Yes, that is incredibly frustrating.
But you do see it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's so committed. No, I'm into this now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Oh, it's not good. And another one that I've seen multiple times, but I saw it the other day on my return journey. The average speed cameras, which there's still quite a lot of people that haven't read that first word, average, who just gun it and break at every camera. You think, no, you've not got this.
No. Yes. There's a sum to do here. Yeah. You got to do some maths.
Oh, yes.
Yes. If you drive like your hair's on fire, except when the camera's actually pointing at you, it's still going to be too fast.
Yes, it's not intelligent. Oh, mind you, I understand the frustration, particularly on that stretch. It was that bit of the M4 where they've decided, we're going to make it a smart motorway from junction 12 all the way to 6.
Motorways. Oh,
and yeah. It's about, I mean, depending on how the traffic's flowing, you could be sat in that for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I think this is not progress.
There's nothing smart about that.
No, that's great. It's like, well, you've taken away the emergency lane there. Well done, you. Thank you for that.
Yes, exactly. The one lane we're all relying on for when something goes wrong.
And you've had it away.
Yes, you allow people to go whizzing down that.
But what I don't grasp is, I'm pretty sure they're doing this all the way to junction 6, which is Slough.
Right.
But surely all of the meaty traffic is beyond that when you get to, London, the capital city.
It does get a little bit busy around there. Yep.
Yeah, you think, well, what you've done is you've smartened up that motorway before you get to London, and you've forgotten the bit, where you drive into London.
Yeah.
And the bit, around the the massive international airport. Yeah, no, we've forgotten that bit as well.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah.
No.
Busiest bit of road in the country. No, not going to do that.
Knobheads.
Yes. Yeah, it's not good, is it? But as you say, generally the standard of driving is awful. But that's not just in this country. I think that's globally. I don't know what it is, but it is bad.
Yeah, I genuinely think it's more noticeable at the minute because of the lockdown and people not being used to
There's
being
a
in their
lot of
cars.
people, haven't done a lot of driving for a long time now, over a year. That's bound to have an effect. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
especially
I
for a
agree.
while, there was no, well, we weren't allowed to even go for a drive.
No, we weren't allowed to go anywhere that wasn't absolutely essential. No, we had months of that, and you were barely allowed to go out your front door. So very little driving was done. Yeah, I mean, it was very nice. It was very quiet. The traffic on the roads and everything was traffic noise. I mean, when you're still at home, was hardly anything. It was great, but like you say, I think it has affected the standard of driving definitely.
Yes. Well,
it's not good. I don't know quite what the answer is. It's funny. I was watching some Grand Theft Auto gameplay on YouTube the other night, as you do, and one of the players said he said it's amazing how Rockstar Games have managed to capture the idiocy of California drivers with their AI that's built into the game.
Oh, right. That's reassuring. It's not just us then.
No, it's not. He said, to be honest with you, the kind of driving I see on the real streets of LA is worse than some of the stuff that goes on in GTA.
Oh, dear.
Pulling out in front of you and just, not being in the wrong lane and all that kind of stuff. He said for what is effectively a British company, Rockstar, they've managed to capture the essence of California driving really well.
Well, that's nice to know. It's not just limited to our country then.
No, I don't think it is. No. But of course, America doesn't have to deal very much with roundabouts. They don't really have them over there.
No, it's not really for them, is it?
There are a few, but not many. There's one near Seattle that I saw when I was over there, but they hadn't really got it because in every direction there were bypass lanes, so you could choose to not go around it, whichever direction you were going in. So it was kind of a crossroads, but they'd sort of experimented with putting a roundabout in the middle of it. But if you didn't really want to use it, you didn't have to.
They're not used to it, so you may not as well.
Roundabouts, that's what communists use.
Yep. Yes, it's a good job they put it in Seattle and not somewhere slightly more inland.
You could say that there's perhaps a more international feel to certain cities than others. Yes.
Yes. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Very delicately.
I've found a slightly more diplomatic way to say it, perhaps, than the way you were headed.
I didn't say anything naughty. It's fine.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't bring that up at all. Which
I reined it in. It's fine.
You did. But no, you're right. It is. You see it every day. Somebody will do something stupid. I don't. Yeah, whether regular retesting or something is the answer, I don't know.
It's a miracle that they got through the testing process in the first place.
Well, absolutely.
Oh, it's not good. You say about roundabouts. The other day, Rob and I nearly got utterly taken out at a roundabout.
Yeah,
when we were on our travels for my trip the other day. Just honestly, the BMW. I just shouldn't really generalise, but it was, and we watched it approach the roundabout at speed, and at no point, not even a glance to the right.
Oh yeah. And then if you beep or they do at the last minute see you, they glare at you like you're the one in the wrong.
Although this one went for full tunnel vision. Rob had no choice but to slam on the brakes and give him a loud press of the horn, and no acknowledgement,
no reaction at all. No,
weird, completely. No, people are arseholes. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, generally, yeah. Can't argue with that, really. There is lots of evidence to support that, that
Yes.
statement. Yes, afraid so.
Right. I'm very excited this week.
I have noticed.
You got harassed very quickly that morning.
I did. That came along very quickly. Yes.
Yes, well, as everyone knows, I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll be old news. But it's time for the 992 GT3 Touring.
Yes, there's a new 911. Yeah,
that's not the attitude. We want excitement. We want
yeah.
vigor.
Sorry. Should I try that again?
Yes.
There's a new 911.
But this is the proper one. This
Is
is the one you want.
Okay.
And you can even look past the funny bonnet vents. It's the one, honestly.
The 911 of all 911s.
Yes, because it's the one that's just going to be the most rewarding to drive. But
yeah, those bonnet vents are a bit weird, aren't they?
It's fine. You get look past it. It's don't worry about it. This is the one because it's going to be just a dream to drive, and it's the perfect daily car.
Yeah, I don't dispute that bit. Certainly, what makes this the kind of ultimate 911 over the last several ultimate 911s?
We've got to take into account what we're dealing with here. We're on the latest incarnation, so we'll go with progress in that sense. But we think we've got.
We better not mention the Taycan then.
That doesn't make the right noise.
It doesn't. Okay. It doesn't make much noise at all.
No, it doesn't. It makes whooshy spaceship noises, and well, that's very appealing and wonderful. It doesn't make flat six noises, does it?
No, it doesn't. Well, not unless you play some on the stereo. No.
Oh, and you're going to look like a dick if you do that.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
no,
that's
it's
not the way
good.
to go. I agree. No.
Right. So this one does make the correct noise because it's got the right engine. Naturally aspirated, 4-litre, flat six. Just, I don't think there's anything more perfect than that, really. And you can choose to have it with the PDK or the manual.
Yes, I've seen some comments on that subject.
There's only one correct decision, obviously.
Obviously.
And it's just the perfect daily driver, I think.
I believe it was Johnny Smith said on Twitter that if anybody orders it with the Peter K gearbox, they're going to get a slap.
And he's 100% correct.
Yes.
Yep. And you don't have to be silly with it. You don't have to spec it stupidly. This is the touring one. This is going to be your usable car with all of the GT3 credentials.
Okay.
You don't have your silly wings on the back.
No, it is the wingless wonder, as Piston has called it. Yes,
it's discreet, just styled really lovely. I think I sent you the spec anyway.
You did.
I don't need green! Oh, it's a good green. There's no point in having a boring colour.
No, the launch colour seems to be quite a dull grey.
Yeah, I was annoyed. I was thinking, well, I don't dislike the colour, and I am elated that it's not black wheels.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yes, that's a very good point. Yes.
Oh, there was a wonderful thing doing the rounds on Instagram that evening. Let me regale you with it, and it was, I believe, it's the head of, or at least someone high up in Porsche who works in the GT department. He posted on his personal Instagram account and said that he was really rather pleased that he didn't have to be all secretive about it anymore.
Yeah.
And he posted what I think was possibly a prototype version.
Okay.
But it's a colour that I don't believe is currently appearing on the website. It's a metallic green, a dark metallic green GT3 Touring with gold wheels.
Ah, classic.
Yes, that was very naughty looking. That is.
You've been able to spec them with gold wheels before, haven't you?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
That's not uncommon, which is well, I quite like that. But yes, I'm sure you can spec them with bloody black wheels
It
as
is
well.
quite. I'm sure you can. Yes, but that would be a grave error.
It would.
Yes.
It's the attention to detail on it. I guess it just pleases me enormously. It really does.
Well, that's what you get from Porsche, though, isn't it?
I tell you what I do like about it, and a few people have picked up on it as well. If you look at the 992 range, if you look at the trim around the windows on the side, it's all black. But you'll notice on the Touring they've gone for it's got silver trim around the windows. Very nice. That pleased me enormously. I like that because you think you've got your nice silver wheels, you've got your nice silver trim around the windows.
Certainly in the very dull launch color, it does lift it. Not sure about the vents on the bonnet, I have to say.
No, they were a bit of a sticking point when they announced the normal GT3.
Yeah.
And they think, well, yeah, all right, it's if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I don't think it looks great, but I think my favourite view of it is from the back. Anyway, I think it looks tremendous from the back.
I genuinely think that the 992 is a bit of progress. I really like the rear on it. Well, I was a fan of the 991. I don't know. There were a couple of styling cues on it that bothered me a little bit, particularly in standard form when you're looking at sort of Carreras 2s and 4s. You think, it's not quite there.
The GT little unresolved, as they say.
Yeah, a little bulbous.
Yeah,
at the
right.
rear.
Yeah.
It was a bit more resolved when they got onto more of the special editions. You got into your GT3s. It looked it was slightly better, but with the 992, I remember when they launched it and everyone had the same press car and they were all reviewing the same one at the same time. It was that you remember it was the red Carrera 2S with the gold wheels.
Yes, they all had that same one, didn't they? With the light grey interior.
That was it. That was all doing the rounds, and that was
all had that one. Yeah,
perfect, really spot on styling. Yeah. And the GT3 has really carried that on.
It's interesting they've chosen to launch it in grey rather than a bolder colour.
Yeah, I think it must be on purpose because I'm sure they launched the normal GT3 in that almost sort of baby blue colour.
Yes,
and I suppose it's a visual representation of you've got the one that is the track one. It's got the colossal wing and all of the aero and all that, and then you've got the grey one. You go, this is for your discerning choice. You see?
Yes, this is for every day.
That's it. You've got what you've got here is you've still got a car that, if you look at the stats, will actually go 1 mile an hour faster because it's got less drag.
Yeah.
But still, it's absolute perfection, I think.
See, the problem with the 911 for me.
Choose your words carefully.
Yeah. No. This is. You'll be all right with this. The problem with it for me is that I keep trying to not like it, but I don't think it would take a lot of persuasion for me to have one.
Oh, good. That's all right.
That's what I dislike about it. Yes.
I don't know. There were so many people have so many reservations about it, don't they?
Some people absolutely hate them, which I don't quite understand why you would hate it. I don't hate it. I don't have the passion for it that you do. I don't. As I say, I think I could probably be quite easily persuaded to have one. But some people just refuse. Yeah, they just, hate them. I don't quite understand that.
Well, I suppose a lot of people have jumped on the Clarkson bandwagon.
Well, a lot of the trouble with Clarkson's opinions over the years is that they've been so well known. They've so sort of become a particular type of petrol head consciousness. A lot of people will just regurgitate things he said over the years. And because he's very witty and very funny, and he speaks very well and he writes very well, his stuff gets remembered, and
Mm.
there's a lot of people who won't be bothered to form their own opinion. They'll just regurgitate his.
That's exactly it. And you
Yeah.
think his opinions of it, that's fine. He really doesn't like it.
No,
But
and never has liked 911s, any of them.
but the thing is, he's got an informed opinion because he's driven them.
Yes, and his reasoning has always been that it's too good. It's too perfect. It's the flaws that give a car character. And that the 911 is so well engineered and so, it's the pinnacle of driving experience and the pinnacle of automotive engineering. It's perfect, but don't want one because it's too good. It doesn't have a character because it's not flawed, unlike an Italian car or a British car, because they're not they have problems, they have flaws, and it's the flaws that give them character. It's the flaws that make them human. And the 911 more often than not doesn't have any. So
No.
it's
And
hard to form a bond with it. That's always been his argument. He
no,
can't get excited about them because they simply have no character. They're too good.
I mean, you can see where he's coming from. You can
I
follow the
absolutely.
logic.
Yes, you can. I do get that. I mean, that's, as I've said before, that's one of the reasons I like Jags, is because they're not actually quite good enough, but that's what gives them the character. They're some of them are not built very well, and they have the flaws, and some of the designs are a bit quirky, and you certainly with an older one, you've got to sort of learn how to use it, and just how to sort of work it to get the best out of it. And it's its flaws that give it character. It's its flaws that make it human. And once it becomes human to you, you can bond with it. But the 911 doesn't have any of that. It's too good. It's too perfect. And you sort of, it
That's
doesn't
why.
have the character.
But
Has been his opinion. I've
yeah,
never driven a 911, so I can't really say.
it's
But
what other car are you going to spend? Like, if we take this GT3 Touring, I've said that it could be a daily driver
yes,
without any faff. Yes, the fuel bills are higher. Yes, it's going to cost more to put tyres on it than your average vehicle. But
yes,
you can go to that car every day and get in it and drive it.
and
It's not
drive it
going to
away.
cause you
Yeah,
problems.
yeah. It's
What
reliable. Yeah.
what other car are you going to spend 130 grand on and have that ability?
That's a bad question to ask me.
No,
A Tesla Model S, but assuming I'm not going to do that. If you say I can't do that, because that is what I would have if I was going to spend that sort of money.
well, you'd
But
have the
yes,
range topper, wouldn't you? There, but yes.
I'd have the Plaid.
Mm.
Yes, I'd have the 420-mile Plaid. Yeah, absolutely. But even with all the options on it, but excluding that, I get what you're saying, that it is a usable supercar, and most of them aren't. Most of them are a long way from being usable on a daily basis.
That's it. You think if you had a commute that involved a B road, good heavens, you'd arrive at work in a good mood.
Yes, you probably would. Yes, you probably. There are other cars that could do that for you, but yeah, I agree. You can. Yeah, the reliability of it and the quality of the engineering and the construction, yeah, it does put it in a different place to other cars of its ilk. I agree. It's a difficult one.
It is. I mean, it's all a moot point, really, because we're not going to be purchasing one anytime soon.
Neither of us is getting one, so
No.
it's all a
And
bit academic. I agree.
and
Yes.
you have seen plenty of people who are in a position to part with the necessary cash to, well, even finance one. And
Yes.
if
Don't.
you make an inquiry with your local dealer, good luck with that. All allocations gone.
Yeah, it's sold out, isn't it? Yeah, you
I
can't
mean,
get. You have to wait till they come round again. You get them on the used market.
yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's the first run you won't be able to get hold of. I'm assuming, judging by the popularity of the touring,
Yeah,
of the 991, which was
of the earlier ones. Yeah.
when it was sort of because it was almost an end of life model.
Yes.
And you think, well, what did we end up with in the UK? I think someone said, I believe it was, there are about 50991 GT3 Tourings in the UK.
How many is it?
No, that's not a lot at all.
No.
And you think, oh well, there's one less after Mr. Harris had his incident.
Yes, one got a bit crumpled, didn't it?
Not his fault at all. No, that was just
No?
misfortune. He arrived around a bend and found a pickup truck doing a 3-point turn in the middle of the road.
Middle of the road, yeah, that's going to be that. Yes, that could have happened in any car. Yes.
Hit. Yeah, you think, oh yes, it just sod's law. It happens in one that's incredibly rare.
Yes, I can see both sides of it. I can see why people are not interested in them, and I can also see why people are. I think I would need to experience one. I have been in 911s. I have never driven one, and I would very much like to. And that horrible feeling I might get the bug. No pun intended.
You see what you did there.
Oh, it's very good. Yes, I hear all week. Yeah, I think, as I said, I don't think it would take a lot of persuading.
No, I don't think so.
Do sort of get it, but I also get the other argument that maybe there isn't a lot of character there because it's too good.
I don't know.
But I'd like to make my own mind up on that.
Yeah,
I'd like to make my own mind up on that. But as you say, too many people are too ready to just regurgitate what Mr. Clarkson has said over the years. And he doesn't like them, therefore they're no good.
No, it doesn't quite work.
Infallible.
No, and there's been the odd one that he's actually got in and enjoyed. It's not that. There's no point has he ever said is it's a bad car.
Well, you can't, can you? Because I don't think it's not clearly.
No, I think he was
just personally doesn't want one. That's all.
I think I do recall he was quite derogatory about. Do you remember when the 964 got its first iteration of the Tiptronic gearbox, and he was not entirely enamored with that. And
I do remember something about that.
Yeah, you think, well, it was towards the end of the yuppie craze, and I think,
that wasn't a good era for that. No.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. The 964 is one of the finest bits of styling, I think. But there were some of the things that, like, for instance, the Tiptronic. You think, well, that's a gearbox made in that particular era that was electronically controlled. It's not going to be a brilliant thing,
is it? It's not going to be good, is it? But that's, I suppose, because they were making them for people who actually weren't that interested in driving it.
That's
they wanted it as a status symbol.
Yeah, it's a bit of posing, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not actually that bothered about driving it. So yeah, stick the Tiptronic in it. It's never going to be used much. So.
No, and well, we've come a long way since then. I mean, yeah, we all turn our nose up at the PDK, but it is fantastic.
And a proportion of them will be ordered with it. Absolutely.
I mean, that's incorrect, obviously.
Obviously, as we know.
Yeah. But say, for example, you wanted something a bit lower down the food chain, you got yourself a Carrera S. That's it. Just, stick a PDK on that.
Yeah.
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 Well, there's been a lot of press regarding the 992 saying, look, the PDK in this, it's you couldn't achieve a better gear change if you were doing it yourself.
Well, in that case, it's doing its job, isn't it? Can't ask for more than that.
No, and you think, well, that's fine. I just think for something like the GT3, you think this you want to be involved.
Well, that's sort of the point, isn't it? Really, if you want to remove yourself from that process, I kind of think you're buying the wrong car. There's other things that could do the job for you better if that's where you want it to be. Yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get there one day.
Do you think there will be an electric 911?
Yeah, I really do think there will be.
But I suppose the answer is that there will have to be at some point if they want to carry on making them.
There's an argument that they could probably keep it powered by a bit of internal combustion for a bit longer.
They could for a bit longer, but not forever.
Yeah. No, but the 911 has always changed with the times.
That's an interesting statement.
Well, it has. I mean, yes, people go, oh no, it always looks the same. It's like, yes, that's very good.
New 911 looks exactly like the old 911.
Yes, get out, go and form an opinion yourself. But you think, well, I mean, the world turned upside down when it got water cooled.
Well, indeed.
And
yes.
Then you go when they released with the electronic steering, and then they released
very controversial. Yes,
they released a GT3 RS that didn't have a manual gearbox. And right, okay, this we do the things need to move on.
Where are we going here? Yes.
So it will be propelled by electric at some point. Yes. It follows progression. It always has done, and people will hate it, and the press will be ridiculous. But it will. But if you sift through the crap, it'll still be a good thing to drive.
Well, look how well the Taycan's going down.
Still, everyone says it still drives like a Porsche.
Yes, absolutely. They have managed to achieve that. And no doubt that is a little bit, I know it's a different type of car, but it's a little bit of a test bed, isn't it, for the 911?
Yeah, they'll be doing great things with that, and a bit of influence from Rimac will not hurt either.
Yes, well, they have a large share of Rimac, don't they? They own part of Rimac.
Yeah, that is correct. And you think, well, that bit of knowledge combined with all of the development that goes on at Weissach, and you think, we're going to end up with possibly the most glorious electric sports car.
Possibly. We've not seen the Tesla Roadster yet, but yes, I suspect in terms of driving dynamics, if not in out-and-out acceleration, the Porsche would be the one to have. Yeah.
Well, that always comes down to it, because that GT3 Touring, that's not the fastest thing on the road, but it stands a good chance of being one of the fastest things around corners.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it doesn't have to be the fastest in a straight line. That's not necessarily what you want.
No, that's it. I mean, your hypercars. Yep, that's fantastic. You got some numbers on a bit of paper there. Wonderful.
Well, Tesla will do that because Elon seems a bit obsessed with 0 to 60 times.
Oh, he loves a number.
So he's an engineer, isn't he? So the Tesla Roadster will do 0 to 60 in 1.5 seconds or whatever ridiculous thing it is. But actually, other than the one time just after you bought it that you might do that, you'll never do it again. And
no, you'll scare yourself far too much.
Oh, you'll need hospital treatment after that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, to put the bowels back where they should be.
Exactly, to rearrange the organs in the usual manner. Yes, from where they've been pushed in a most unpleasant way. Yes, absolutely, and it won't handle as well, I'm sure. Yes, it will be the quickest 0 to 60 in a straight line. Fine, well done. But is that really what you want to be buying? Probably not.
No, this is it, and you think it's impressive, and it's a fantastic test bed, and the technology will filter down for other things. Which is what it's there for. Which is
that is what it's there for. What they learn from that will filter down into the cars that people actually buy. Yes.
Which is exactly what it needs to be. Those flagship models, the crazy things, need to do that. And that's why we've got Porsche doing other stuff. I think they've been intelligent enough to jump on the Rimac bandwagon of going, well, these guys know what they're doing, so let's have a bit of that. Yeah. Combine that with our know-how, and I think
you could have a pretty formidable machine.
I think there'll be some development going on behind the scenes that we'll all get very excited about, and they're so fastidious about it. There was that really funny story about, I think, again, like I mentioned, Weissach, there are some roads in and around there where I believe Porsche caught wind that the local authorities were going to resurface some of the roads. I mean, nine. No. We've been testing our cars on these roads for years. Don't cock about with the roads.
Don't change it all. Our figures will be wrong. Yes, we won't be able to compare anything anymore.
No. We use this road to hone everything. Don't mess with it.
Don't you dare resurface that and make it all smooth. That's the last thing we want. Yes.
That sort of thing is to be commended. I like that.
Yes, that does show. I mean, clearly they have an attention to detail that few others do. I'll give you that. Yeah,
Yes,
it's quite a thing. It's quite a thing. The new one.
It's
very good looking, particularly the rear 3/4. I think.
and very striking. And you think it's interesting, isn't it, that this particular model's got more gushing than the standard GT3.
It does seem to have. Yeah, everybody's been falling over it this week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been something that's sort of been, after the last generation, generated a reasonable bit of interest, and it's just gone crazy now.
I like how they've worked in a little bit of, they're as you say, they are moving it with the time. They've worked in a little bit of new technology, like there's touch screens now on the dash.
What's fascinating about the dash is it still looks like a 911 dash.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yes, they've managed to keep that. Yeah,
it's bloody modern. But it's still got that thing with it. You've got that center portion of the dash. You've got the upper level and the lower level, and you've still got that recess. It's where all the controls have always been. And if you notice that the switchgear in there, you still have above the gear stick tactile buttons, and then on the bottom rail of the dash, still tactile buttons
with the touch screen above it. Yes, no, that's good. That's important. You do still need mechanical buttons in a car. I mean, I know that, having driven a Tesla for years, where there are no mechanical buttons. You have to look at the screen to operate things, and your attention is away from the road for longer than it would be if you had mechanical buttons. We talked about this before. And yes, there's a place for both. What you can do with software on a touch screen, I mean, you and I know this, is our business, is incredibly powerful. But in a car, there is no substitute for something you can operate without looking at it. And for that, you need a mechanical button. Touchscreen cannot do that.
No, this is true.
I also like the touch in the 911 of the center dial. I'm presuming it's a rev counter. Is still mechanical, whereas the ones on either side of it are now LCD screen, are software generated.
Good. So
one nice in the center is still a mechanical.
It always has been with the 911s. It's always you want your rev counter front and center. Everything else is an auxiliary dial. You don't need anything else.
Everything else is supplementary to the revs. But it's nice that they've retained that as a mechanical, needle up and down instrument. Whereas everything else is software. Nice touch.
Yes, and I'm assuming you noticed when I sent you the spec that I styled mine so that I have the white ring on the dials.
I didn't notice that. That's the fact that you can spec it down to that level. I do begrudgingly quite like.
No, I like that because I spec the rev counter with the white dial and the sports chrono stopwatch in the center of the dash with the white dial as well.
Of course, yes, of course. I like the fact that you can specify it to that level, because so many cars you can't now. That's nice.
I went for that, and I went for the complementary stitching as well. So it's I think they said it was silver stitching, but accented the dials nicely. So that's what I went for.
You've spent some time on this, haven't you?
Yes.
Little bit. You went to your happy place.
I did, but that's fine. I mean, I'm so pleased with it. One day.
It's on the list, isn't it?
One day there will be a 911 on the driveway.
Maybe not that one, but
perhaps not that one, but there will be a 911 on the driveway.
Be a 911. Well, I think we're all looking forward to it. No, let me rephrase that. I'm looking forward to that.
That's because you get to drive.
That'll help. That will help a lot. Yeah, well, you have to now because I let you drive the Tesla. So
it's fine. Yeah, they're more than happy to do that.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.